All right. Let me get set up real quick. Let's see if I can change this thing right here. Oh, I think it can. Let's see. Nope, can't do that from this. Change video later. Called it Fit Report. Realize the other one's called Fit Report. Oh wow, yeah, freezing up on me. Fun times. Anyway, let's see if I can get this up. Yeah, that looks like that's up. All right. All right. So final report here. Um. Anyway, I plan on. Oh shit. No, I am part of the stream. Oh, what a pain in the ass. Yeah, there it is. All right, we're working. So I plan on taking a little bit of time with this one. I know I kind of raced through that preliminary because most of that is just going to be regurgitated information within this final. So, I kind of raced through that. So I say a couple things. You know, Throughout all this, uh, I realize this isn't for everybody. Um, and I'm going to say, throughout my lately with the time I've had, I realized that I've pretty much purged a lot of people um, because of because I've been trying to kind of mend fences, mend bridges and stuff like that. I've come to realize that not everybody's going to agree on this stuff, and there's no way to really make people agree with you. That's stupid. That's a dumb way of thinking about doing things. So, um, I have kind of been building bridges here and there. It does get a little frustrating when I hear people say, yeah, I'm just going to say it's dumb shit when people say nobody died at this thing, right? Because, you know, that at this point should be pretty obvious. I mean, if you've been paying attention to any of this and you actually, really look into any of this, look at any of this, it's pretty obvious. It's extremely obvious that, you know, people are dying in these videos. And, I mean, if you look hard enough, you could figure out who these people are and all that sort of stuff and match them up with autopsies, match them up with evidence. So, yeah, we do have, that does get a little frustrating. But, I try not to let it piss me off too bad. And so that's why you see me trying to kind of make peace from time to time here. But then again, like I said, it does still get a little frustrating. But especially dealing with these autopsies. Lately, I've been dealing with the autopsies, and that's when it really starts to kind of hit you. That to me, I don't know the upbringing of everybody in this audience, of people who watch this, of people who will watch this. Uh, but me personally, I was always told, I was always brought up to to believe you never, go after the dead, right? You always respect the dead, and you don't punch a person that can't fight back, right? You always fight people that can fight back. So, and of course the dead fit into that. So I don't, I've always, just me personally, it's the way I was brought up. So I always had issues with people disrespecting the dead. It doesn't really matter who they are, even if I didn't like the person, I just, you know, it gets to a point where that's not a good thing. So, I don't know. Just wanted to say that, get that out there. I don't think that's right, you know, but it is what it is. Seen a lot of people do that, and you know, that's why I've kind of distanced myself from a lot of people at this point. So this is the final report. Like I said, I'm gonna go through this kind of, well, at least the plan is right now is to go through this very slowly and to just kind of comb through this. Again, I don't have all the answers here. I don't know everything. Yesterday there was someone that came in here and didn't want to really talk because uh, they felt that I wasn't open for discussion. And realistically, I am. I really want to hear this stuff. One of these days, I'm going to try and get some people together, maybe do a private live stream like we've done in the past. That way, to avoid the drama of the public spectacle of this bullshit. But, I think that would be a good thing. Um, kick out all the drama, all the bullshit. At this point, with 20 people watching these videos, which is kind of strange, right? That's the other thing, man. When I was going to go through a lot of this, I was actually going to start pointing out, victims, where the victims died, stuff like that. I mentioned this yesterday, um, that I had plans to do that. It's information, man. It's information that I think, probably should get out there. The problem is you never know who's going to be watching this stuff. You just never know. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? You never know who's going to be watching this stuff. So, when it comes to something sensitive like that, you know, um, and I could show videos of the people, show how they died, all that sort of stuff, autopsies, all that sort of stuff. I could go through, and basically run through the person's last moments, and because we do see a lot of that. And just that last release, we saw about maybe 6 people who we saw actually the last moments of their life. And so, I could figure out, 3 of them at this point. I've pretty much figured out who they are. 2 of them are definitive. I have enough evidence to say, yeah, those are those people. Um, the rest are kind of up in the air. I haven't gone through the autopsies completely yet to get to that point, but I don't think I need to now, because I don't think it's necessary. I don't. I'm not going to be that person that, and I said this yesterday. I'm not going to be that person that throws a target on somebody's back by saying their name, by showing their story, and all this bullshit, and then having a bunch of assholes come out and try to refute that. I don't want to be that person. I'm not going to do that. We've seen what happens when people do that, and it's not a good result. So, not going to go through that. But yeah, that's kind of why I've been lagging on the videos lately. And honestly, to me, just to explain a little bit of why I'm kind of behind on a lot of this stuff. Um, why when it comes to a lot of those videos, some of them are a little shocking to me. In the past, when all this went down, my only real objective in the beginning was to try and find people that I knew that were there. And I've actually found, a couple people in some of the videos. But that was my main objective starting this off. And so to me, it wasn't an issue of what the cops did that night, what they said that night. Um, the breach video was interesting to me back in the day. I watched that a couple times, but most of the rest of the videos I skipped around a lot because, to me, the videos told me what I already kind of knew. Right? Told you it was a clusterfuck, that there were cops all over the fucking place doing all kinds of stupid shit because, cops will. Some are good, some are good, some are great, some are bad, some are terrible. So. You're gonna have stuff like that. Nothing you can do about it, man. There's good and bad in all fucking aspects of society. It's just the way it is. So, and cops are not, excluded from that. So, to me, the footage was never really my main focal point within all this. I didn't care. really too much what the cops are doing. I didn't like to see cell phone cam too much because I didn't like to see, people getting shot up. You know, um, I just didn't. I didn't really care for that. So a lot of the footage itself was, you know, to me, a lot of it is semi new. A lot of it I watched while I was at work and stuff like that. Now that I'm kind of going through this again, it's kind of giving me a little bit more of a base, which kind of the reason I'm doing this. I just kind of want to, for my own information, I want to learn what's, kind of learn as much as possible about this, the event, fill in the gaps, fill in the holes, try and fix problems within the psyche as far as what people said that people take for granted as Bible truth at this point within this event. And to be honest with you, I kind of started with a blank slate at this point. I'm trying to ignore all the bullshit that's been said in the past, all the stuff that people, said, people, kind of put out there to, and has become the history of this event. And and a lot of times you find out those people were wrong. So that's the kind of the reason, the rationale here, and that's why I'm going through all this madness over again. And this is a report I've read quite a few times, but again, once in a while you run into that one line where you're like, what the fuck, I didn't read that the first time. So again, I know same for everybody, it's me reading a damn report that most of you have hopefully read at this point. um, so not the most exciting thing, but again, you know, I have my reasons for what I'm doing. Let's see. LVMPD criminal investigative report of the 1 October mass casualty shooting. LVMPD event number. Yeah, don't care about the event number. Report from Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department's Force Investigation Team on the shooting that occurred on October 1st, 2017. Yeah, at the Route 91 Harvest Festival. Don't care about the address. It's not even really there anymore. Sheriff Joseph Lombardo, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, August 3rd, 2018. Took them a while. Get that set up. All right. Intentionally left blank. I don't know why they do that, but they do. Yeah. All this stuff. This good stuff. Um, and I don't know how far I'm going to get through this because I don't have a lot of the statements loaded up, and I kind of want to go into the statements. So, at this point, I think I'm just going to get through the summary here so I don't have to do it later. But I think later I'm actually going to go into the statements and try and figure out exactly what has changed, or what's different in the statements versus what's written in this report. Because I know a lot of this stuff is a little bit different. On October 1st, 2017, approximately 21:18. So 9:18. Mandalay Bay Hotel Casino Mandalay Bay security officer Jesus Campos was assigned to check several hotel service observation system, hot sauce, these fucking acronyms, alarms from various rooms inside the hotel. We got a footnote. Let's see what the footnote is real quick. Let's see where they got this information. The hot sauce. That's interesting. And we were in a semi high roller suite, so I would think, but whatever. Um, Double doors at the end of the hall. Let's see. Did you find out that there was a large amount of public safety workers from California, etc. There? Nah, not really. Um, that's our place, man. I'm from California. That's our place, dude. There's always people from California going out there too. As far as uh, fire department, police department, stuff like that. It's just who likes country music, man. It's you got like you got within California, you got certain jobs that make decent money, right? And so, you know, you're going to have a lot of those professions that are going to, they're going to have the money to do something like this, to go out to Vegas, spend a whole weekend, waste a bunch of fucking money, and sit in the VIP section of a concert like this, spend $300 in tickets or whatever they cost that for that thing. It's going to happen, Uh, the Inland Empire or from the Orange County area. And that makes total sense, right? Because that's pretty much a straight shot into Vegas. It's a short drive. It's 3.5 hour drive. If you haul ass, if you take time, it's about 4 hours. If you really go crazy, you can get there in about 3 hours, 3 hours and 15 minutes. So it's a pretty simple thing. If you fly out of at the time that this happened, I don't believe it happens anymore. You used to be able to fly out of of um, Long Beach Airport. Long Beach Airport. So Long Beach Airport used to be able to fly out JetBlue. JetBlue, those tickets were super cheap. I don't even remember how much they were. It's like $30 or something for a while there. That you could take a one-way trip to Vegas, on $30, so $60 gets you there and back. It was crazy. It was actually like 37 or something like that. But I mean, that's a cheap flight. That's a really cheap flight, man. I've taken quite a few of those flights in the past. So, is it weird that, there's a lot of, that we ended up seeing some cops, you know, uh, um, in the body cams? Yeah, but we also saw like a lot of people that weren't. It's just that, to me, like when I watch these body cams, I think back to a story. Well, I don't want to tell that story, but a lot of people are full of shit, right? You know, so you got a lot of people running up to cops. They're saying they're retired military. Is it weird that there's a lot of retired military there? No, not really, because there's a lot of retired military, running around, and there's a lot of retired military. There's a lot of military people that I think would like country music, right? Good old boys. That's why the army was there recruiting people, and they probably do push recruiting very heavily at country concerts. Um, a lot of military. They come out of the military. What do they become? They become cops for the most part. Um, as far as EMTs, stuff like that, it's a little bit different, man. That's a different kind of animal. But firemen. I don't know, but to me, nah, it's not really that weird, that strange. I mean, if you look at all the people in the body cams, you'll have one or two guys for each body cam come up and say, "I'm retired," or "I'm LAPD," or something of that nature, right? But then you have 6 or 7 people run by them that don't say a word. And then you have some guy come up and say, "I'm retired military. What can I do? I'm retired military." It's like, okay, Um, well, the military. Okay, so the military. You watch the videos. The military did have. They had 2 trailers. Actually, they had 3. I think there was a third one there too. There was a smaller one, but you look like you had. It looked like they were about 53-foot trailers, maybe 45, possibly 48s, but it looked like they had about 2 53-foot trailers there. It said the U.S. Army on them, and it wasn't military like vehicles. These are not military vehicles. I've seen what the Army drives when they're transporting military cargo. These were promotional, right? They're promotional. It's recruiting drives, stuff like that. We saw, if you watch the body cams of the guys running around the event, the venue itself, you will see a lot of U.S. Army banners, posters, stuff like that. I'm sure there was probably a booth there that was set up for them. Why they needed 2 trucks, I don't know. I don't know what was going on in those things. It's very possible that those trucks are not local, that those tour around. They go from concert to concert to concert because they're probably at Stagecoach as well. Um, if you look at that, footage from that would and we did see "Go Army" posters all over that venue as they were running around trying to clear it out. And so I didn't see any Army people there. I really didn't see any military people there running around, camouflage stuff like that. I didn't see that. Why did LVMPD use Battlefield Las Vegas equipment? I don't think they actually used it. Right? They may have rolled it up in front of the. Oh man, shit, lagging out a little bit. I'm sorry. Get it off my face, man. I don't need my face on this thing. Um, so Battlefield Vegas. Battlefield Vegas. The funny thing is, it's like they showed up. I forget what time it was. Shit, I have it written down too. Damn it. Because it was just in the last thing where you heard him say Battlefield Vegas is standing by waiting for orders. They're waiting for orders from the police. Battlefield Vegas is insane. Those guys. I think they actually have helicopter tours where you can go. Fire a what are they, a saw or whatever they call them, 30 caliber saw or some crazy shit like that out of a helicopter. Um, it's crazy. Battlefield Vegas is a crazy place, man. They've got everything there. You want to shoot something, anything that shoots, they probably have it. They'll probably let you fire a damn flamethrower at that place. Well, okay, so the LVMPD, do they have their own equipment? They do. They do. And I don't know where the Bearcats were that night. I think that's what they're called. Is it the Bearcats? Um, I don't know where those were that night. I don't know where those were rolling around that night. I think Battlefield Vegas, we don't know if they were called to help or if they took it on themselves to help. I would almost be willing to bet, man, they probably called up the LVMPD, said, "Hey, we hear shots going. What do you need?" And they probably said, "Well, if you got anything with armor, we'll take it." And they probably start rolling the armor out, down the streets. Um, but I don't think there's anything nefarious going on with the Battlefield Vegas, to be honest. Especially since, we do hear them on the radio saying, they're waiting for instruction, right? They weren't just coming in like gangbusters and, doing that stuff. You didn't have cops rolling in with Battlefield Vegas. From my understanding, it looks like they were actually looking for direction from the police at that point, which tells me that they weren't with the police at that point. They were just trying to help the situation. And they have the armor. They have all kinds of stuff there. It's crazy. Battlefield Vegas is nuts. That is one place, man. I guess if a terrorist attack ever happened, dude, those guys, Battlefield Vegas would be. They have all the weaponry, man. It's crazy. It's crazy what they got. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. That's the way I see it. I don't see anything nefarious with Battlefield Vegas. And again, the LVMPD, I don't know where. Usually, most apartments, at least, from my understanding, most apartments in like let's say Los Angeles or something like that, most of them do have one heavily armored vehicle that generally the SWAT team rolls around in. So one thing that I've always questioned is, where was the SWAT team during all this? Where were those guys? Right? We saw Levi. Levi showed up by himself. Um, which is a little strange, but who the fuck knows, right? Levi's Levi. He's Vegas badass, I guess. O'Donnell, we don't know, where he showed up. He showed up from, or who knows? These guys could have got calls at home. Levi showed up a little too quick for that. Levi must have been out there doing something at the time, working something. But O'Donnell, I don't know where he came from. He might have come from home because he came a little bit later at the night. So he might have got a text message from Levi saying, "Hey, shit's going down at the Mandalay Bay," and he might have suited up and ran over there. Who knows? But yeah, where was their vehicle? Where was the rest of that team? Yeah, I talked to an officer guy who was he was a retired captain of the LAPD, and he was saying that it's his, from what he understands about the guys in Vegas, is the guys in Vegas are a whole different breed. The guys in Vegas are supposedly able to get to the door of any room in any hotel within 15 minutes. That is their goal. They trained for that in Mumbai and are the best of the best. Just odd to me. Who trained in Mumbai? Who are you talking about? Talk about the Vegas PD. I got a friend who actually knows one of the officers over there at the LVMPD, and this guy works in LA, and he was actually telling me that. Oh, see, I haven't heard that. I don't know. I haven't heard that. If you got an article or something, put it in the comments because I haven't heard that. I don't. Yeah, I didn't see that. Not doubting you, just I didn't see that. But yeah, anyways, this guy was in Iraq for a bit, and one of his squad mates ended up on the LVMPD, and he was saying that the LVMPD, they don't fuck around. He was saying that and this guy kind of acts like a badass too, but he was saying, man, the LVMPD, those guys are a whole different monster. Those guys are pretty hardcore. As far as most of the cops go, you had some older ones that we saw on some of the body cam that was like, yeah, some of them were kind of lame, but you watch a lot of those guys, man, they're pretty gung-ho, man. They're screaming, yelling, going fucking nuts. It was a little crazy. These people were running into gunfire, for Christ's sake. I mean, that's insane. These guys were pretty nuts. I mean, Dan Bilzerian, right? Not to really shit all over Dan Bilzerian because I don't really care, but this guy tried to be a Navy SEAL. He tried out for the Navy SEALs a couple times, didn't make it for various reasons, I guess. But he ran. He fucking ran. He took the fuck off, man. He bolted. And I think he came back, from what I understand, and I don't remember where I read this, so I may be wrong. But my understanding was Dan Bilzerian went and got his guns and came back because that guy's fully loaded as well. So, these guys are running into this gunfire. That's crazy. That's insane. That takes fucking balls, man. So these guys are, not all of them are heroes, but, there were enough heroes, I'll say, on that night that that's crazy. I mean, if you're willing to run into gunfire, for a bunch of people that you don't know, fully automatic gunfire, in the wide open, that's crazy. That's insane. Couple 911 callers were retired. Don't know what that means. One said sound was coming from speaker. Yeah. Well, you had people in the body cams. I think the ones we watched that were saying it's not real gunfire. It's not real gunfire. That's fake. That's fake sound. Stuff like that, man. You had people saying all kinds of weird shit, goofy shit. But I mean, you think about it. Here we are, almost 4 years into this, and people are still saying that. People are still saying like weird shit happened, right? People are still saying like nobody died when we're watching people actually get riddled with fucking gunfire. We're watching people bleed out. We're watching people die. And people are still saying that didn't happen. That's crazy. Law enforcement. Okay. I didn't know what the Leo was. Thought you were going astrological here. Not really, but yeah, I mean, you did have law enforcement there, man. You did have a couple, but I mean, think about all the 911 calls. you had how many were not law enforcement, right? So, what are you gonna do, man? You know, um, yeah, you could say you could go off statistics and say this many people are law enforcement, but you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the demographics of a country concert. It was never my scene. Guarantee if you went to a punk concert, man, you wouldn't find any law enforcement in those things. There'd be none. So I guess they got to go somewhere. Although my friend is a cop, likes punk music, so I guess there'd be one. So, anyways, um, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, who am I? But you know, uh, to me, when I see stuff like this, um, there's absolutely no way that these people were acting. There's just no way. It's not fucking possible. That is not a possibility. You want to say it's some sort of false flag event, behind this, that's fine. I get that. Um, because we don't have a motive, right? Since we don't have a motive, that's up in the air. That's totally up in the air. But as far as watching these people do what they did that night and having, as much camera footage as we have, which, I mean, honestly, they've been fairly open, just not completely open, right? There are some things, there's a lot missing, but they did actually hand us a lot. I mean, considering when these guys usually, have a shooting, you get one body cam from this LVMPD. It's usually the guy who shot the person, as opposed to this where we've gotten it from every angles. And some of it was people sitting behind a fucking building doing absolutely fucking nothing. Later in the night, 4 in the morning or something crazy like that. So, but I haven't gotten to those yet. All right, so back to this, man. Yeah, the hot sauce. Let's see, approximately. So 21:18. That would have been 9:18. If we look at the nightline footage again, it's 9:46 when he gets in the elevator. So there's a little bit of a disconnect I have with that. The weekend was also a big training weekend for different agencies. Some stayed at the Blue Green Resort or whatever it's called. See, I've heard that. There were a lot of the. I heard the FBI had a whole floor of the Mandalay Bay, but where's the evidence of that? Where's the evidence of this stuff, right? Um, you know, I mean, if you have it, then please put it in a comment. Send it. Morning, morning. But yeah, I mean, if you have the evidence of that, send it in a comment, man. I want to see it, man, because I'm down to entertain whatever. But you know, when people just say stuff, I'm sorry, I can't unless I actually see it. Like I said, I remember hearing the whole FBI had the whole floor of the Mandalay Bay. I don't think that's true. I really don't think that's true. I don't think that actually happened. And I've never seen any evidence to say that other than somebody saying that on a video one time. And I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things, man, that just don't fucking check out. So, I kind of don't believe anything unless there's something behind it. Um, you know, I'm very cautious what I believe on the internet these days. Let's see. So the hot sauce again, 9:18. There's a problem there with the Nightline video that kind of conflicts. So I guess it conflicts because this was the last room he was supposed to check. According to Nightline, he got in that elevator from the basement at 9. I think it's 9:46. I believe it's 9:46 on the timer on there. 9:46 and like 30 seconds. So that cuts it short, man. He's tight for time at that point. Well, if you got that, like I said, if you have that, if you have the article or wherever that came from, put that in the comments, and I'll check it out and I'll see if I'll mention it next time. I'll talk about it next time because I haven't seen that. I have not even seen that. That's something I don't think I've ever even heard before. I think, yeah, I heard about the Mandalay Bay thing. Like I said, the FBI was staying on one of the floors. They had the whole floor, rented out, and it's like, man, I don't believe what especially a YouTube channel says, at this point, because we're all just fucking knuckleheads. We don't know shit. So, and a lot of people said some shit. Room 32 129 was the last of the room. Security officer can't pull sign check. That is the problem that we have, because if that is the last room he was supposed to check, well, he didn't check the one on 130 or on floor 30, because that was still open when the cops showed up. Unless it was a different room and somebody else decided to leave their fucking door open, and that didn't trigger the hot sauce alarm in time for Campos to get it assigned to him, so he didn't actually have to go check that room. But I mean, there's a lot of coincidences with that. Yeah, try to find it. Yeah, if you can find that, that'd be great. But like I said, you know, I have to see it. I have to see what it is. Security officer Campos, and you said, wait. So you said some stayed at the whatever Blue Green Resort. Who stayed? So let me get an idea of what you're talking about here. I'm totally derailing from what I'm planning on doing here, but it's fine. I don't mind talking about this stuff. Who was supposedly staying at this resort you're talking about? And I don't know what the Blue Green Resort is. Unless you're talking about, geez, what was it? There was a resort right next to there. But yeah, I mean, who was it? You talking about police, medical, military? What? What is this that we're talking? So security officer Campos on 30th floor respond. So see, he was on the 30th floor. We have that. And like I said, I have to go back on that video, but I'm pretty sure they were on the 30th floor when they ran up on two people that had their door open that were passed the fuck out, right? So that door had been open for at least a little bit. And responded to the 32nd floor via the stairwell. So, I mean, they could have closed their door, or they could have left the door open and it hadn't triggered the hot sauce alarm yet. But then, like I said, that's very convenient that the same damn floor. I have issues with Campos and the hot sauces, man. I really do. Something that really grinds on me and bugs me. Something about that just doesn't really make sense in my head. Let's see. So responded to the 32nd floor via the stairwell in the north end of the 100 wing. So this guy climbed up 2 floors of stairs, which, at the end of the day, man, that's a lot of work. But I guess if the door on the 30th floor was close to the stairwell and you knew that the other one was going to be close to the stairwell, I guess that would cut down your time a little bit. This guy wanted to go home. It was coming up on the end of his shift. So, okay. Security officer Campos attempted to enter the hallway to the 100 wing, but the door would not open. He took the stairs to the 33rd floor and used the guest elevator to access 32nd floor. According to him, he used the 31st floor, but he went down, not up. According to these guys, he went up, not down. And I believe there was a footnote in the other report saying that it was due to footage of the elevator. That's how they figured that out. Once on 32nd floor, security officer Campos entered the foyer leading to the stairwell. Discovered the L bracket screwed into the door and door frame that prevented the door leading into the stairwell from opening. Security officer Campos called his dispatch center with the house phone located in the foyer to report the discovery. Okay. So, I mean, that was always something, there was a little bit of controversy with that, but he used the house phones, what they're saying. Security officer Campos heard what he described as rapid drilling sound coming from room 32135 after he hung up the phone. As he walked in, he said, deep in the room. So, again, issues with that. If the guy was drilling at the doorway, that's not deep in the room. So I don't. But it's Campos, man. Campos' statement is just a train wreck. As he walked down the 100-wing hallway, Campos heard what he described as automatic gunfire coming from the area of room 135 and realized he'd been shot in the calf. He took cover in the alcoves of rooms 122 and 124. I'm trying to think if that's where the cops were. I think that's where they were actually. Uh, were they? No, they were. I think they were in 18 and 20 was where they were kind of parked for a long time in that hallway when O'Donnell walked up. I think it was 118 and 120. And let's see, and utilized both his cellular phone and radio to notify his dispatch, he was shot. Okay, he called on both. So, all right, I think we only had one of those conversations, but whatever. Security officer Campos advised he was shot with a BB or a pellet gun. While waiting for other security personnel to arrive, security officer Campos continued to hear gunfire coming from the room. Did he say that in a statement? I don't know. We'll get to his statement here eventually. Engineer Stephen Shuck finished fixing a water leak on the 62nd floor, which, to my memory, I thought I was staying on the 61st floor the first time I went out there, last year. And the 61st floor was the very top floor of rooms. And then above that was the foundation room. And I'm not sure what else is up there, to be honest with you. I think in the body cams, they were saying something about there being an employee like break room up there. And I guess that's possible. So it's fixing a water leak on the 62nd floor. So chances are, I'm guessing that he was not actually in a room, that this water leak was possibly foundation room stuff. I don't know. When he was directed to respond to the 32nd floor in reference to, at least they use reference right in this, man, in reference to the bracket, preventing the stairwell door from opening. Engineer Shuck used the elevator in the 200 wing to access the 32nd floor. It's a good thing Paddock didn't stay in 200 wing. When he arrived on 32nd floor, he gathered his tools and equipment and walked from the 200 wing to the 100 wing. Let's see. Yeah, and he used the service elevator, right? He would have been right up on top of him if Paddock had got his 200 wing door. So as Engineer Shuck walked up the hallway of the 100 wing, he observed Security Officer Campos poke his head out of an alcove. Engineer Shuck then heard rapid gunfire coming from the end of the 100 wing hallway. Why did they capitalize wing there? I'm sorry. That bothers me. It messes with my eyes. 100 wing hallway and lasted approximately 10 seconds. When the gunfire stopped, he heard Security Officer Campbell tell him to take cover. Engineer Shuck stepped into an alcove, and gunfire again erupted down the hallway, coming from room 135. The gunfire lasted a few seconds and stopped. The gunfire started again after a brief pause, but Engineer Shuck believed it was directed outside, not down the hallway. All right. Guess it would have sounded a little different. Wouldn't have had anything whizzing by you. I'm just wondering, man, if the sonic cracks would have made, if that would have happened in that hallway, because those bullets would have slowed down as they hit the door. So I don't know if those would have actually made the sonic crack sound. Anyway, meanwhile, inside the Las Vegas Village, over 50 Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department personnel were on overtime assignments for the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival being held at the Las Vegas Village venue. The initial gunshots were heard on an officer's body-worn camera as a suspect targeted the concert goers with gunfire. Officers quickly determined they were dealing with an active shooter and broadcast the information over the radio. And one other thing I found tonight, watching some of the something that they actually said that they believe is truth, that he wanted the 200 wing because he could shoot down at the what do you call it, the and honestly, this is something Hunter was always barking about So he could shoot down at the muster point there. South Central Area Command, I believe. Their little station right there. But how did he know they were all going to muster there? I mean, I don't know. The crowd inside, well, maybe it's possible he was going to do that just so he could see when they were coming, when they started coming from that building. I guess I don't know, since that would have been the closest, I guess. What do you call it? Station to where he was, to the Mandalay Bay. The crowd inside Las Vegas Village started reacting to the gunfire. Performer, words are hard. Jason Aldean ran off stage. Officers and concert goers began treating victims who were struck by gunfire. They also tried to get concert goers out of the venue in a safe manner. God, this sounds like a training manual. Officers determined the gunfire was coming from an elevated position, possibly from the Mandalay Bay. Medical personnel were requested for multiple people struck by gunfire. I guess it's all true, but the context there is a little squirrely because things didn't quite happen in that order. The shooting started, everybody ducked for their lives, and then they started treating people and doing all that sort of stuff. As the active shooter incident was occurring, two LVMPD officers were in the security office of the Mandalay Bay handling a call for service in reference to two females who were in custody for trespassing. The officers heard the radio broadcast of gunfire at the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. I wonder if they actually charged the two females. I wonder what happened with them, or if they just told them to get the hell out. Both officers, along with security personnel, exited the security, and I wonder why they were trespassed, what they did. Anyways, both officers, along with security personnel, exited the security offices and responded toward the Las Vegas Village. As they were making their way through the casino, security personnel advised the officers of an active shooter on the 32nd floor of the hotel. Let's see what the footnote says. Information obtained from the body-worn camera. So they got this straight from the body-worn camera. Wow. So they didn't even use their statements. They just were like straight up like, nah, we'll just use the camera. We're good. I don't need to hear what you guys say. The officers then directed security to escort them to that location. The officers and security personnel entered the center core guest elevators and were again advised the shooter was on the 32nd floor. The officers made a decision to respond to the 31st floor and take stairwell to the 32nd floor. That is actually true. We see that in the body-worn camera. He says, should we go to the 31st and use the stairs? But the problem is he didn't use the stairs, and that's where he screwed up. That's where he became a coward. All right, so LVMPD officers converged on Las Vegas Village and Mandalay Bay. Officers formed multiple strike teams and entered the Mandalay Bay from various entrance points. A team of officers, including the Special Weapons and Tactics officer, reached they didn't use a name. Reached the 32nd floor via the stairwell in the 100 wing. Skipping a lot here. Officers did not hear gunfire coming from room 135. Officers were able to manually breach the L bracket on the stairwell door and gain access to the hallway. Officers immediately observed a food service car which had wires running under the door into room 134. The door wasn't cracked yet. Whatever. And prepared themselves for the possibility of an improvised explosive device. The decision was made to use an explosive breach to make entry into room 135. That's kind of crazy, man. They think it's possible there's a bomb on that cart, and they're blowing this shit out of that door. That's crazy. That's crazy. After a successful breach of the doors, 135, officers entered and found a male, Paddock, deceased on the floor. Paddock appeared to have a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Officers cleared the remainder of the room and observed numerous rifles in various locations, as well as hundreds of expended casings. A second explosive breach was utilized to gain access to room 134 through the connecting doors. Immediately after the breach, a SWAT officer negligently discharged his rifle. Officers cleared room 134, finding several more rifles in the room. Officers, medical personnel, and concert goers continued the evacuation of victims in the Las Vegas Village venue. Several triage sites were established in the venue and surrounding areas. Um, did they? They didn't set up a triage site in the venue. That might actually save people. I don't. I guess it's depending on what your definition of a triage site is, but no. Uh, they kept telling people to leave. They didn't set up anything in the venue. Again, that might have saved some lives, but then again, I understand they were afraid to because they were getting shot at in there. Um, and the gunman wasn't down for quite a while after the shooting stopped. Let's see, establishing the venue and surrounding area. Injuries range from being minor in nature to fatal. Hundreds of wounded were transported to hospitals by ambulance, privately owned citizen vehicles. As LVMPD's investigative response occurred, it was decided early on, post shooting, that the LVMPD's homicide section would handle the documentation of the venue and 31 bodies found inside the venue and on the exterior perimeter. Homicide detectives worked closely with crime scene analysts and investigators from Clark County Office of the Coroner Medical Examiner. That's what that stands for. I just know it's a coroner. It's easier to just say the coroner. All right. So, yeah, not much there that we don't know. It was further decided the LVMPD's force investigation team would take responsibility for the Mandalay Bay crime scene to include the collection of evidence. See, that was always a weird thing. That was strange. They kicked homicide off that. I guess was homicide up here? Homicide wasn't up here, were they? Homicide detectives worked closely with crime scene analysts. Okay, so homicide took care of the event itself. They must have just been stretched thin. I'm guessing. I'm guessing that's the rationale here. So, anyways, FIT team would take responsibility for the Mandalay Bay crime scene to include the collection of evidence, documentation of the scene, and collection of Paddock's body. This was all completed with the assistance from the Federal Bureau of Investigation's evidence recovery teams. The FBI handled the collection of all evidence related to the Mandalay Bay and the Las Vegas Village venue. So, yeah, so the cops went up there, did their thing, and then the FBI just took for criminal investigation of deadly force and other high risk critical incidents resulting in death or serious bodily injury. Which, yeah, it doesn't really fit. Well, not to use a stupid acronym, but yeah, it doesn't really work here. FIT is the primary investigative unit for any incident wherein the department member, during the course of his or her official duties, is a victim of a violent crime and sustains substantial injury. I guess that does fit because it did have a couple of officers that were shot. So I guess they could use that. Let's see what number 3 says. Oh, shoot. Damn it. Keep losing connection here. Every time my face shows up, I know I lost connection for a minute there. Let's see. So, okay, so LVMD Department Manual 1. Oh, geez. Internal Oversight and Constitutional Police Bureau. So, yeah, bureaucratic bullshit. Okay. So during the initial response in both scenes, FIT learned 2 LVMPD uniformed officers, Brady Cook and Casey Clarkson, were struck by gunfire. Um, Man, those are some good country singer names. Um, Preliminary information was received that Officer Charleston Hartfield was unaccounted for and presumed to have been struck by gunfire as well. Officer Hartfield was attending the festival in an off duty capacity and assisted concertgoers in escaping the gunfire before he was fatally wounded. These factors are what initiated a FIT response. At least they explained it, I guess. Um, in the days, weeks, and months following the 1 October shooting, LVMPD worked alongside the FBI, as well as numerous other local, state, and federal agencies to determine why the shooting occurred. Briefings look to answer the following two questions. Was there anyone other than Paddock who took part in or assisted in the commission of these crimes? They don't say he was alone the whole time, but they do say that nobody helped him. Although that is a false statement because, technically Mary Lou did load the magazine. So, yeah, technically she did kind of help in the committing of a crime. Uh, well, she loaded the magazine. She didn't commit a crime. Well, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. It's illegal. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would think assisted would have something to do with that, but whatever. What was Yeah, okay. So, yeah. The findings from that preliminary report remain accurate and in accordance with this final report. Okay. This report was because you copy and pasted it. This report was authorized to provide the reader with more information about who, what, when, and where. Regretfully, this report will be unable to address the why. So, yeah. So, what was Paddock's motive? You failed. Fitt believed it was important to expand upon the suspectology of Paddock. Interviews from family members are summarized in this report to include the Mary Lou Danley interviews. Ooh. Early in the investigation, Danley was a person of interest for the LVMPD and FBI to locate and interview. Fitt expanded the sequence of events in this report to provide the reader with a greater knowledge of Paddock's actions leading up to the day of the shooting. There's a strong belief among investigators that the events leading up to 1 October began with Paddock's actions and behavior surrounding his stay at the Ogden condominiums. Their own conspiracy. Located in downtown, well, not conspiracy, just a theory. Located in downtown Las Vegas. Whether he used the Life is Beautiful music festival as a rehearsal or not, we'll never know. What we do know is the actions and behaviors displayed by Paddock at the Ogden were consistent with those displayed at the Mandalay Bay. Yeah, okay. Also documented in this report is a detailed account of when Paddock purchased all of his weapons. Summarized are the forensic results from each gun that was recovered from rooms 135, 134. This report details which guns were discharged and how many rounds each gun fired. DNA analysis concluded that there were no DNA anomalies to indicate anyone other than Stephen Paddock was responsible. DNA analysis concluded there were no DNA anomalies. That took place that night. This report is meant to. Oh man, am I freaking lagging again? I think I just lagged. Yeah, lagged out again. I don't want to see my face, man. See myself enough. Um, this report is meant to document the facts as to what happened. This report also provides the reader with background information as to the actions taken by investigative personnel. Yeah, not really. Um, an administrative review, which is an internal process, will address issues surrounding tactics, training, decision making, policy, and protocols. Yeah, okay. Thanks for adding that line. Doesn't mean much to me. All right, victims, deceased. Okay, so out of respect, I'm gonna read this off, and I think I'll end it with these names. Jack Reginald Beaton, 54. Uh, and yeah, so time of death on first couple of these are all the same. I don't remember if they were the same in the preliminary report. I have to check that out. There were four of them that were the same in the preliminary report. Let me see. Yeah, there's yeah, I'm kind of curious now. Oh well, no, these are the ones that were in the these died in the venue, so they were all the same time on these. So, anyways, Jack Reginald Beaton, 54. Uh, Christopher Lewis Roybal, 28. Lisa Marie Patterson, 46. Adrian Allen Murfitt, 35. Hannah Lisette Ehlers, 34. Austin William Davis, 29. Stephen Richard Berger, 44. Stacy Ann Etcheber, 50. Christiana Two, William W. Wolf Jr., 42. Carly Ann Krybaum, 33. Laura Ann Ship, 50. Carrie Ray Barnett, 34. Jordan Nicole Rivera, 21. Fuck, young, man. Young. Victor Lloyd Link, 55. Candace Ryan Bowers, 40. Jordan Allen McGildoon, 23. Carrie Lynn Galvan, 31. Here we go again, man. What the hell? Doreen Anderson, 49. Nyessa Tonks, 46. Melissa Ramirez, 26. Brian Scott Frazier, 39. Tara Ann Rowe, 34. Bailey Schweitzer, 20. Jeez, man. I mean, that's sad. Not even old enough to buy a beer yet, man. Patricia Mestis, 67. Jennifer Parks, 35. Angela Gomez, 20 years old, man. Denise Berditis, 50. Cameron Robinson, 28. James Melton, 29. Quentin Robbins, 20. Again, man, young. Charleston Hartfield, 34. Eric Silva, 21. Uh, Teresa Nicole Kimura, 38. Susan Smith, 53. Dana Leanne Gardner, 52. Thomas Day Jr., 54. John Joseph Fippen, 56. Rachel Kathleen Parker, 33. Sandra Casey, 35. Jessica Klimchuk, 34. Drea Lee Anna Castilla, 28. Carolyn Lee Parsons, 31. Michelle Vo, 32. Rocio Gayen, 40. And let's see, Christopher Hazencombe, 44. Brett Schwanbeck, 61. Rhonda LaRoque, 42. Cooper Meyer, 24. Kella Marie Medique, 28. And let's see how long this is going to be. Yeah, I think I'm just going to end it on that. Because, yeah, I didn't want to be on here longer than an hour, really. And it is an hour. I just want to get through the beginning of this, get a little bit going here. But anyways, so that starts off the preliminary or the final. Sorry, the final. I have to rename this later. But anyways, everybody have a good day and get to more of this maybe tomorrow. Stay safe out there.